Hi everyone, it's Jen Jensen from Frosting and Glaze, located in West Hartford, Connecticut. I am bringing you a socially distant baking class. Good luck everybody, let me know how you did. Today's first class will be Dutch Oven Bread 101. Step 1, fill something with 2 cups of warm water. Not hot, not cold, but warm, and 2 cups. Put your pinky in. If you go, ooh, that's cold, then that's not warm, and you need warm. Put your pinky in. If you feel nothing, that's body temp, and that's fine. If you feel like, ooh, that's like nice warm bath water, great. If it's hot and you go, ow, that's hot, then throw it out and get yourself warm water. I repeat, warm. Okay. Then all you do is you add your packet of yeast, or if you have like the jar, add 2 2¼ teaspoons of the active dry. You can also use instant, and if you have instant yeast, that's fine, and put like ½ tablespoon in there. The only difference between the two is that the size of the granules, and the instant's smaller, so it dissolves faster. It's ready to go. It's instantly ready, as opposed to the active that needs to be activated. If you want, you could just leave it like that. That's what it'll look like. Or you can stir it a little bit. You don't have to stir it a lot of it. Just leave the spoon in it because you'll need it. I use a scraper with yeast because you need every little bit out of there once you're ready. But that's it. Step 1, easy, done. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is add 4 cups of all-purpose flour. If you need to use bread flour, if that's what you have, that's fine too. But all-purpose flour works great. And you just put 4 cups into a bowl. It's really easy. Don't worry about like how exact you are. Just don't be under. So this is, see, it could be a little bit over. It doesn't have to be so leveled. But you know, you don't want it heaping. But 4 cups, see how easy that is? And it takes, what, a couple seconds, maybe a minute for some of you. Then you're gonna add, it says 1½ teaspoons, I meant 1½ tablespoons, but I've made it with 1½ teaspoons by accident and it turns out fine also, but I'm gonna put 1½ tablespoons of salt in. Any salt. You could use kosher salt, you could use your regular table salt, you could use sea salt. I don't care what kind of salt you use, and if you want to use Hawaiian salt or whatever that is, that pink one, that's fine too. Himalayan salt, I think it's called. That's cool, whatever kind of salt. That's my salt. So 1½ tablespoons or 1½ teaspoons, I don't care. Then you're gonna just mix that. You could use a fork. You just wanna mix your salt in. I'll pull away, sorry. I know, I'm holding this with my hand so it doesn't, but that's it. And then you're gonna make a little well in the center of your bowl once you've mixed the flour in. And you're gonna let your yeast sit for 15 minutes. Okay, so really with the yeast, anywhere 5 to 15 minutes. It doesn't need really 15 minutes, but you look at that yeast, that's what they call frothy. It's kind of lumpy. And see the little bubbles that it's started? Yours might not have that many. It might just have a couple, might have a lot more. That's carbon dioxide. That's what the yeast eats. And the yeast eats and then creates carbon dioxide. So that's what you're looking for. And so if your yeast is from 2005, Christy, but it still produces these little bubbles, then it's alive and well, and you can definitely use it. Because that's why you're doing this, is the point is to kind of give it a jump start, but also to see if it's alive. So if you have this kind of like bubble look and frothy, which means it kind of, I don't know if you can see it from the side. See how it kind of like is raised above the water a little bit? Then that's happy and alive. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take all of that and just pour it into the little well you made. And I want you to make sure that you scrape out all that stuff that you can inside that glass jar or whatever your vessel is. Scrape out all the yeast, okay? Okay, so once you've got that all scraped out, now you're just gonna scrape around the edges of the bowl and you keep going until this is mixed together. Not sure how to hold the phone and do it at the same time. I'm gonna put it in my mouth. Okay, and just go around the edges like that. I'm not quite sure. I can't see it. Yeah, so keep doing that until it comes together. Hold on. Okay, sorry you can only see part of this, but I can't find the stand that has the thing that holds the camera on the end of it that we used to have. Maybe I'll find it later for when I do the important parts. But anyway, so this is all like dryish and a pain in the butt. But just do the best you can to get it all worked in together. And you see it's kind of like stringy or whatever. Your hands are your best tools as long as you have washed them. So if you need to just get in there and knead it a little bit, go ahead. But you're not really looking to make it a nice smooth mixture. You're just looking to get that dry incorporated into the bread, the dough. So go ahead, and once you get most of it in there, just squeeze it a little bit, a couple times. It's not that sticky, so you should be okay. If yours is sticky, that's fine too. It's a wet dough. It's what's considered a wet dough. And that's all. So you just, it doesn't have to be beautiful. The bottom of my bowl is still got stuff all over it. That's fine. It's not all scraped out clean. That's fine too. I barely did any mixing, right? We just did it for a little bit, and that's what it looks like. Put a towel over it, and now you want to let it sit anywhere for 1.5 to 2 hours. Because we have nothing better to do all day, just let it go for 2 hours. Put it in somewhere that's not drafty, that's kind of warm and snuggy. It doesn't have to be on top of a heater or anything, but just not in a breezeway or outside, okay? See you in 2 hours. Sorry, and for those of you who are more challenged in the kitchen, take a clean towel like this and put it over the bowl like that. Doesn't have to be saran wrapped, doesn't have to be a moist towel. It just needs to be clean. And put it somewhere where you know it to be nice and kind of warmish. That's it. So that's how you do that. A towel over bowl, 2 hours, timer set, okay? Okay, so 2 hours has gone by. And if you take off your towel, this is what your dough might look like. I say might. So all you want to do is just push it down a little bit. You don't even have to push it down a lot of it. And then you're going to tuck in the edges. So do this all the way around. Okay? And that's pretty much it. You're just kind of taking it from the edge and folding it in on itself. That's it. cover it back up and let it sit 2 more hours. That's right, ladies and germs. Whoops, that says 24. Put it in for 2 more hours. Wasn't that fun? Okay, now it's been another 2 hours, and you take your towel off the bowl and it should look like that or something like that. You want to scrape that out in as best you can. I use a bowl scraper because I have one, and just don't worry about if it still looks like that. Just it's fine. If you need to put a little flour on the bench, go ahead. Then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to start to kind of work it underneath itself. So it's getting tighter on top, and I'm kind of pushing it all there. Okay? And I'm just making a nice little, they call it a boule. All right? And I've done that. Then I have this bowl, it's clean. There's some oil in the bottom, and I'm just gonna spread the oil out real thin with a paper towel. And then I'm gonna take a tiny bit of flour in the bowl, just a bit. That's so the dough won't stick as it's rising. I have my nice boule here, shape, and I'm gonna put it top side up into my bowl. Now it's like this. And then I'm gonna put flour on top of that. Just a little bit, just a little sprinkle. It just helps it also to keep it from sticking. Then, what do you guess? Put your clean towel back over the bowl and put it somewhere kind of nice and warm, not drafty anyway. And then, okay, next thing is set your oven to 450. Nope, that's the kitchen timer, don't do that. Set your oven to 450. Make sure that you put your rack lower so you have room for your Dutch oven. This is my Dutch oven. Okay. It's kind of a big one. I don't know how many quarts. Any Dutch oven you have is fine. And this whole thing goes into the oven now. And I'm putting it in the oven, and that's going to preheat anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. So I'm gonna say just let's do an hour of preheat at 450 degrees. And then your bread's covered up, and that's it's gonna be an hour later that we're gonna come back, okay? So now guys, that's a total of 5 hours, and then whatever it took you to put your ingredients together. Okay, so your timer has gone off, and you have to remember that the pot inside the oven is very hot and you need to take it out. So put your oven mitts on, take out that Dutch oven. See the smoke that came out? It's super hot. Don't touch it, don't let anyone else touch it. Sprinkle a little bit of flour inside. You don't need a lot. It's just kind of helping for it not to stick, even if your inside is non-stick. Then your beautiful boule now has probably risen a bit, and you have 2 options. You can take it out and put it right in the way it is, or you can flip it upside down and put it in. Then make sure you put your oven mitts back on. Put the top back on. Use your oven mitts and put the whole thing into your oven with the top on. And then set your timer for 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes with the top on, and then take the top off, and 15 minutes with the top off. Okay, so it's beeping after 30 minutes. Don't change the temp, but take the top off. Oops, there goes the steam. It'll kind of look like that maybe if you're lucky. And take your top off. Got your top, the bread top. Set the timer for another 15 minutes. Careful, that top's really hot, so put it somewhere that you'll remember that it's hot, because it'll still be hot in 15 minutes. So 15 minutes without the top on, and then your bread's done. Okay, so time's up and you gotta take your bread out. You got it out of the oven, and this is what it looks like. Or maybe yours looks a little different. Who knows? But just keep always reminding yourself how hot the pot is, and you gotta get a, whoops, sorry for making you sick right there. And you take your boule out. Ouch, this hot. And there you go. The next step actually is take that clean towel, if it's still clean, and put it over your bread for at least 10 minutes before you cut into it. Hot bread, when you cut into hot bread, it'll like squishes it together and condenses, and so that it appears to be raw inside. That's why you should never really cut open hot bread, even though hot bread's like the best. I recommend letting this cool down for a little while, even past 10 minutes, before cutting it. And enjoy, guys. That's Dutch oven bread at its best, and it tastes delicious.